Sup everyone, DarkScream217 here, and before I begin with this video, you could still post a vote on my previous video to see which anime I should review first, which is either Bamboo Blade or Project Eiko. Both of them are tied so far by the time this video was recorded, so if you're willing to break that tie, there you go. However, I'm gonna actually start watching Bamboo Blade early on because it's a longer show. Project Eiko, I only need to see once and that's it, since it's like a 90-minute, 2-hour long flick. And if you're wondering what character I'm using on this image, it's actually one of the characters from Bamboo Blade, Mia. I actually really enjoy her a lot, and I want to use a different pic to make a video response. But anyways. This is now a video response to TheLavaBuster's Why I Sigh at People Hating Easy Targets. In his video, to sum up, he complains that there are too many people who hate on popular easy bullseye targets like, Justin Bieber, Twilight, anything you might see your friends share on Facebook, etc., etc. Which is something I do not disagree with. I do roll my eyes when people continuing channeling their hatred on stuff like this, which is why I try my best to ignore it. That, and some of the stuff isn't even targeted at a demographic specifically at me. Hell, I even have a friend who's a fan of the Twilight series and, puts up decent arguments for it, and whatever, to each his own. He likes it fine. I actually did see a few films, because my friends forced me against my own will one day. Worst Thanksgiving ever. Well, anyways, I didn't enjoy those films, and the stuff I did enjoy basically fell into the so bad it's funny category. However, the part I do disagree with, which is why I'm making this video response, is that he thinks it's necessary to focus on bashing on lesser known stuff, such as various anime shows, some CG show called Afterworldly referenced, etc., etc., etc. Like, that's a better alternative, shitting on something because it doesn't get bashed enough. I'll go into details about that later regarding TheLavaBuster's channel, but honestly, I don't see how critics severely bash on something less known, for TheLavaBuster's case, pure entertainment, is any better. He even encourages people to look for lesser known stuff to loathe on. He's encouraging hate, and yes, he does use the words hate and loathe on those videos, not dislike that a lot of people like to differentiate between the two. Now, I got a better, healthier alternative. Instead of focusing on negativity, aggression, hatred, whatever, as mentioned in my previous videos, why not try to look for obscure stuff that you might enjoy, that you might like, that you might feel good checking out, and then you can actually express it on a YouTube video to get the word out and try to get some recognition on the show that has been pretty obscure. Why force yourself into bashing on stuff? See, I firmly believe in not destroying creativity. Now, don't get me wrong, if I don't like a show, I don't like it, but I don't try to force myself to hate on it. I do my best to try to enjoy certain shows. However, if it happens to have more cons that annoy me than pros, then ultimately, it prevents me from enjoying the show. Now, back in the day, I kinda did support TheLavaBuster in the past, but I do regret it, and if I still continue to support TheLavaBuster, people will find that kinda contradictory considering that I made some videos in the past. See, like the reviewers I've mentioned in my Words I Hate from Critics video and my Cynicism Caused by Reviewers video, he actually falls into both of those categories. Now, while unlike Jaded Otaku Media, he seems cool for other people to have a disagreement with him on certain anime and stuff, and at least he tries to explain the problems he has with certain shows being criticized by him. And he even uses visual footage most of the time, which is why he's on Blip TV. To me, the results are hit or miss, but other than that, he just comes off as another negative reviewer to be entertaining like most That Guy with the Glasses reviewers at the AVGN. He has done some positive reviews in the past, but what really ultimately turned me off for good is in his Fatal Fury the Motion Picture review. It was a positive review, but at the end of the video, he discourages the idea of talking about good anime or being positive at the end of his video. Speaking of his go to bash on obscure titles message he tries to push out, let's take a look at some of the obscure lesser known stuff that is posted on his Blip channel. We have The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Oh, that's obscure. Oh, not enough people bash on that. I see plenty of likes for the show, and I've seen plenty of dislikes for the show. I don't consider that to be lesser known like Psychic Wars. Lucky Star, almost the same thing. Pretty popular, pretty well known amongst the anime community today. It's also pretty bashed on by its haters. High School of the Dead, again, same thing. Yeah, well, I like the show, but I consider myself to be a minority for some reason. I see a lot of people shit on that show. Garzy's Wing. If you were to Google Garzy's Wing, you will find a lot of anime blogs and posts. You know, before Spoonie and Bennett did their review on it, Garzy's Wing was talked about as one of the bad stuff that come out in the 90s. So that show is not that obscure. Digimon the movie. Even the fans didn't like the show that much. And Jesu Otaku and Nostalgia Critic reviewed it already. And the Hellsing TV series, again. I remember people used to like the show until the OVAs came out, which ended up being more faithful to the books. People now go back and bash on the show and point out the flaws. So in conclusion, I do not support the forcing yourself onto finding something negative, because, you know, how are you supposed to enjoy stuff in life? And I don't know if I could continue to support LavaBuster, his reviews, or his ideals on hatred and focuses. I used to be like that when I started making rants and videos early on in my YouTube history, but it made me look like a total asshole, and I regret every second of it. Even if I do just watch him accepting those standards and see if I can watch him just as a harsh critic, he doesn't come off as entertaining at me. He just comes off as pretty generic and most of the time often immature. You know, one of his reviews, he points out the cons is having one of his cons is that he points out the dialogue for being retarded. I don't know if you want to use retarded in your vocabulary when you want to criticize dialogue. That's just me, though. Now, if you'll excuse me, oh gee, my video's set on fire again, isn't it? Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go watch Bamboo Blade, a show I barely hear people talk about, and Project 8Co, an anime that was once popular and well-known, but somehow faded into obscurity as of recent, and I'm actually going to try and enjoy myself and hopefully have some nice things to say about both. Darkscream217 signing out.